Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You're knowing what you're wanting?
Yes.
It changes, doesn't it? Yeah. Desire feels good, yes? Sometimes. Have you figured out how to come more and more into vibrational harmony with your desire? Are you beginning to realize that a desire is an evolving proposition and that it has a vibrational basis, which is logical because everything in this vibrational universe does have a vibrational basis? So your desire is attractive in nature. Your desire is attracting to itself and to you cooperative components. That's how it evolves. That's how it becomes more. That's how it becomes more and more and more satisfying. So while you are holding a desire, if it feels good to you, really, if it really does feel good to you, then that means you don't have a habit of thought. That's what a belief is. It's just a thought you continue to think. You don't have a habit of thought that is right now contradicting your desire. And so if there's no habit of thought contradicting your desire, such as I can't do it, or I haven't done it, or it isn't done yet, or others have done it and that's not fair. If you don't have a desire contradicted by a belief, then the desire does feel good. So it's a wonderful thing when you become aware that the way you feel is your indication of what you're doing right now vibrationally. And what you're doing right now vibrationally matters because you are a vibrational being in a vibrational universe, and law of attraction is responding to your vibrational output. And if your output is about a desire and then a doubt about the same thing, then you've got enough contradiction going on in your own thought process that you're slowing it down. And even more important, not only are you not letting your desire evolve, or better said, you're not letting yourself be in a place of awareness so that you can receive the evolving desire, but you don't feel good in that process. So we want to talk a little bit before we open to things that you want to specifically talk about this mix of vibrations, because most people are so good at translating vibration through their physical senses that they don't even realize what good vibrational interpreters they are. Your emotional center, your solar plexus, are really keen vibrational sensors, and that's really how you best understand what your vibrational mix is. In other words, if you want something that you don't believe, it's not coming anytime soon, and the fact that you want it is going to be uncomfortable to you. So as we talk about this mix of vibrations, do you remember at some point in your life, maybe a while ago, maybe recently, where there was something that you needed to do? Maybe it was a job interview, maybe it was going to work, maybe it was meeting with someone about something, and as you proceeded, you felt trepidation as you went. You felt insecure, maybe you felt fear, you weren't sure how it was going to unfold, you didn't really want to go, maybe you went under duress or under resentment or under fear. You're doing something, you're going somewhere, but you're not wholly invested in it in this way. You're going because you said you would. Maybe even you're going because you have a desire to go, but you've also got this other stuff going on. So under those conditions, proceeding doesn't feel good. Oh, you can make yourself do it. And other humans will teach you that you need to just buck up, that life isn't easy, and that it's not supposed to feel good, and that you're not the center of the universe. So just put on your big girl boy pants and go. And we say, stay home. And then you say, can't stay home, gotta go. Gotta go. And we say, don't do it. And you say, have to go. I'm expected to be there. I must be there, or bad things would happen if I don't go. I'll lose my job, my pay will get docked, I will disappoint someone. You have a lot of reasons that you push yourself into action that you're not vibrationally ready for. And the thing that we most want to say to you is, you do it so often, you have been doing it for so long, most of you, that it feels sort of kind of normal to go without being wholly vibrationally invested. And so we want to talk about what it feels like when you are really in alignment with your desire, which means you're eager to go, you're inspired, you're feeling an impulse that is so strong that nothing's going to keep you from it. Remember that time that you were in love and you were going to go, and your sisters said, nah, your friends said, bad idea, and you said, move or I will run right over the top of you. Because you were wholly invested. In other words, your desire was vibrating at such a pace of momentum that if you had any doubts or disbeliefs, they weren't a big player in this mix of vibration that you had going on, because your desire was so strong, and you went and you wanted to go and you felt passion about going and you liked it. Well, that's the way we want you to feel about everything. We want you to stop shooting yourself in your own foot about things that matter to you. We want you to find a way to line up with your desires, which means you have to find a way of deactivating those beliefs that are contradicting your desires. So just stop it, all right? We've enjoyed this interaction immensely. It's not so easy, however, to stop offering a thought, a belief that you've been offering for a while, because law of attraction won't let you let loose of it, because law of attraction is responding to your vibration. So you can't just stop thinking about that. You can't just stop thinking about that thing you're thinking about, because when you say, I'm not going to think about that anymore, you're thinking about it. And the more you decide you're not going to think about it, and the more others say, oh, you shouldn't think about that, then the more you're thinking about it. And usually the more defensive about thinking about it you get, you begin to explain why it's necessary that you think about that, and how it happened to you in the first place, and how you're not the only one who thinks about that. You're not the only one who thinks like that. And so as we are unfolding here today, you will get a very strong sense. Many of you are already well on the path of this, of cleaning up your own vibration, which means focusing more deliberately. But it means focusing vibrationally, which means you got to pay attention to the way you feel, rather than focusing relative to subjects. Because really, every subject is two subjects: what you want and absence of it. And you can tell by the way you feel which end of that vibrational stick you are most often leaning toward.
So are there deeper levels of alignment? Because from this conversation, I'm starting to sense that I think I'm pretty aligned, or I know what that feels
and
like.
It's counterintuitive, because it seems to you all like the more expanded and evolved you get, then the more active your brain would be, and the more stuff you would know and that you could say. But the opposite is how you get there. It's by quieting the chatter and discovering alignment, and then from that alignment allowing new chatter. From that alignment adding new attraction, new friends, new relationships, new exposures to life.
Very last thing. Okay, this deeper, going deeper, back to the basics, getting ready to be ready.
Going deeper, let's call it going simpler, going easier, going lighter, going easier, going simpler, going softer. What else would you call it? Easier, softer.
When I think about the work in general and everything you're sharing, it comes down, for me, it comes down to that deep knowing, in which I do have.
We like your words, And where is this deep knowing? In the vortex. Your inner being is the whole of who you are, who was who you were when you came into this body, and who's picked up all the good stuff ever since. And so the true, deepest understanding of who you are is in that place that you want to bounce off from. This is a really good question. What do you think your deepest knowing is? We're just going to throw this out to you. These are some multiple choices, and you just say, what do you think the deeper knowing is? The deeper knowing. We're trying not to make it too easy for you, but we can't help it because it's so easy. Is the deeper knowing love or mathematical equations? What's the deepest knowing? What's the deepest knowing?
Love.
Really? Seems like the deepest knowing would require a lot of education and a lot of testing. Deepest knowing is love. What's the deepest knowing? Satisfaction or speaking 12 languages? Now, here's the thing. There can be satisfaction in speaking 12 languages. And there can be satisfaction in understanding those mathematical equations. And when you've been ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, you'll feel that satisfaction in that. But what we want you to understand is the classroom that matters most to you, you can get to today easily. And if you'll just go every now and again, you're going to find yourself happier in life. What matters more to you? What you accomplish and accumulate in relationship to what others are accomplishing and accumulating, and their awareness of how you stand in relationship to all of them, or being glad about something. We're just trying to help you to get your priorities a little straighter, because bless your pointed heads, you have been so comparative out here in the manifested world that you've kind of lost sight or lost feel for what really matters. And so when you leave this gathering today, and you will, some of the takeaway phrases that we think that would be helpful for you are getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready, and just reminding yourself of that will take you back to all of the understanding that you had here. That's really an essential one. Another one is there's nothing serious going on here. That's really a good place to start. Enough?
One more thing, just off that. So with the
now you got to admit, she's been helpful to you.
That was my intention. So just really quick, so with the knowing part, you said like looking at what other people are doing. I feel like for me, it's knowing what's in my vortex, knowing that I can be doing, have whatever I want, knowing that that's why we're here.
Well, now wait a minute.
And not letting that all in.
But what about this? What if you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you're feeling really good, and you are observing others around you and finding positive aspects all over the place, and it's just life-giving to you. It's intoxicating to you to see the beautiful textures and lovely fabrics of the world and the people around you. Is milking that counterproductive, or is it productive because you were ready to be ready to be ready to be ready for it? So what we're getting at is you have to know whether you're doing this to fix something that's broken, which never works, or whether you're doing this because it's the natural sequential consequence of your alignment. And that's why you can't know when you're looking at anyone else whether their action or their process is really productive for them, or whether their process that is productive for them would be productive for you, because it's not about what they're doing, it's the vibrational stance from which they're doing it. So the rule of thumb is, if you don't feel very good, don't keep thinking about anything, because you're just going to mess it up further. When you say to your kids, sit down, we need to talk about this and we need to work this out, don't, because it's not going to get better. But if you have a piece of something, if you have a piece of a law that you're beginning to understand, and now you're wanting to apply this law that you're beginning to understand to something that you're living, and you're feeling satisfaction in the conversation because it's bringing you to greater clarity, that's an entirely different thing. That's what we do all day, every day here, isn't it? You see, we were saying get into the vortex and then get onto your high flying disc and then get your valve opened and then get into the receiving mode and then. We've been saying it to you in lots of different ways, but you have never heard it like you heard it here today. You're ready to be ready. You just are.
Yeah. I'm ready. Love you. Thank you.
This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.